Good evening and welcome. Starting with our big story this hour, as China seeks to provoke India yet again. Amid the ongoing border dispute, the Indian Ministry of External Affairs has made it clear that it will never accept China's 1959 unilaterally defined line of actual control. India has called upon China to sincerely and faithfully abide by all agreements and understandings in their entirety and refrain from advancing an untenable unilateral interpretation of the LAC. India's reply to China's provocation comes after Beijing said that it does not recognize the Union territory of Ladakh. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin made false accusations saying that India had illegally established the Union territory of Ladakh and opposed infrastructure development on border areas.
China doesn't recognize the so-called Ladakh Central Government region illegally established by India. We are also opposed to infrastructure construction aimed at military acquisition and control in the disputed border areas. According to the recent consensus reached between China and India, neither side should take any action in the border area that will complicate the situation, so as to avoid affecting the efforts of both sides to ease the situation.
For more on this developing story, we are being joined by our principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sybil. Good evening to you, Siddhant. The Indian Ministry of External Affairs has made it clear that it will never accept China's 1959 unilaterally defined LAC. And now China is saying that India has illegally established the Union territory of Ladakh. Tensions continue to rise.
Well, yes, tensions continue to rise, but let me give you a perspective of how the situation arrived here. We know that China, just yesterday speaking to a national daily here in India, said that it is keen on recognizing the 1959 line of actual control. So what is the 1959 line of actual control? This is the current line of actual control, especially when it comes to the Indian unitary of Ladakh. India will never accept that. Accepting that means India removing or losing its claim over a sky chain, which of course is currently under the illegal occupation of the Chinese. The Chinese have reiterated this not many times in the past. It is after almost many decades, in fact 5 decades, that the Chinese have raised it. During the Doklam crisis of 2017, there was some mention, but the mention was not as detailed as this time, but this time also we know that the situation is not as it was in Doklam. This is a much more worse crisis between India and China. And then of course, adding fuel to the fire, the Chinese side today commented publicly on Ladakh, on the political system there in terms of establishment by the Indian government. This is something that is going to irk New Delhi, and we do expect a strong reaction by India. In fact, India has already reacted to the Chinese claim yesterday on 1959 line of actual control, dismissing it and reiterating that it will not accept that. It's not the first time that India has dismissed that proposition by Beijing in the past as well. In fact, way back in 1959, when the first time the Chinese proposed this idea of line of actual control being considered as the border between India and China, this was immediately dismissed by the then Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru. In fact, it was again dismissed by Nehru after the 1962 war. But clearly, the fact that the Chinese have mentioned it this time surely will raise eyebrows here, especially in Delhi.
Siddhant, thank you very much for bringing us that full update and analysis there.